We have a 10-point program, generally the oppressor. Blacks have the image of being the victim and not getting their rights. The Black Panther Party is not important in itself. Matter of fact, no organizational party ever changes anything. The most we could do is act as a beacon light or spark that will mobilize the masses of the people who always make the change and make world history.
Huey P. Newton was born February 17, 1942 in Monroe, Louisiana during World War II to Amelia Johnson, a sharecropper, and Walter Newton, a Baptist preacher. In 1945, Newton and his family immigrated to Oakland, California. Although he had a hard time in school, he graduated from Oakland Technical High School in 1959 and attended Merritt College, graduating with an AA in Arts in 1966. During his time at Merritt, he started to become the revolutionary activist that the world knows him as today. He became heavily involved in Bay Area politics and played a role in getting the first African American in history course adopted into the college's curriculum. There at Merritt, he also met Bobby Seale, and the two co-founded the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in October 1966. Newton was the party's Minister of Defense. Seale and Newton established the Black Panther Party as an African-American left-wing organization advocating for the right of self-defense for Black people in the United States. Their goals included better housing, jobs, and education, and an end to police brutality for African Americans. They often focused on the latter by watching arrests in progress in order to stop abuse and keep police accountable. They further established their ideals and operations when they published their famous 10-point program, a set of guidelines for which Huey had a huge hand in. The 10-point program was integral to their influence and inspiring change, as it stood as a set of rallying ideas that the Black community could stand behind. They were a community working operation intent on giving the people, Black Americans, a voice against racial prejudice ingrained in society. At this point, the Black Panthers, at the height of their popularity, had over 2,000 members and chapters in several cities due to their dedication to the Black community and active public protests. In 1967, Newton was wrongfully convicted of voluntary manslaughter in the death of a police officer as an act to silence him by the government. His imprisonment sparked protests and the Free Huey campaign, aiding in his freedom in 1970. His time in prison further inspired him and led him to the second phase of his impactfulness, for which he announced that the party would adopt a non-violent manifesto and dedicate itself to providing social services to the Black community, such as free meals for children and health clinics. During free breakfast meals held in local churches all around the Bay Area, young Black children would be fed with inspiring and uplifting ideas about the Black community along with their actual breakfast. Huey and the Black Panther Party did this in order to build the youth spirit and confidence during a time riddled with anti-Blackness. Huey, more than anything, pushed for the education of young people as he believed in the power of youth and knowledge. For with all his activism and legal troubles, Newton even went on to earn his Ph.D. in social philosophy and the history of consciousness from the University of Santa Cruz in 1980. While the Black Panther Party may have been disbanded due to government propaganda and pressure, the ideologies of Black power and strength inherently taught by Huey P. Newton's activism and social work never disappeared. His actions that championed Blackness were impactful in bringing the Black community together during the Civil Rights era and ultimately played a huge role in the change of racial dynamics in America. Unfortunately, Dr. Huey P. Newton ultimately died August 22nd of 1989 as he was murdered by an unknown suspect in Oakland, California. Over 2,000 people were in attendance of his funeral, a man of change and innovation during a time when much of the world wanted anything but. May he rest in power.